Well, Jim Ratcliffe has caused quite a meltdown amongst the libtards, hasn't he? It's, to be honest, I found it all quite disheartening, and it's actually the reason I've not done a video for a couple of days. But yeah, Jim Ratcliffe comes out with a speech that you'll have all seen, not a speech, an interview, where he just says what's happening to the UK, you know. I mean, it's very clear we're being colonised, it's very clear there's an invasion. When you see classrooms like this, or street signs or tube signs like this, the tube station at Whitechapel has been completely colonialised, and I didn't know it was getting this bad. But we now apparently have Arabic motorway advertisements for the new English for the invaders. Nothing to see here, people. There's definitely no invasion going on. We're just putting Arabic signage all around the country as they spread around the country, invading. Or when we see literal armies like this marching down our streets. People who support Sharia law, jihadism, and absolutely hate our culture, our people, our country, and openly admit that they're here to take it over.
Grow and continue and take over not just parts of Birmingham, but the whole of Birmingham, the whole of the West Midlands, the whole of the UK. Grassroots democracy in action, and we, our communities, have shown the establishment and the rest of the country that we will not be taken for granted, and we will win.
I think it's fairly safe to say we're under an invasion, I would say. I mean, I don't even think colonialisation is the right word. This is an absolute invasion, and this is treason from our politicians. We've even had signs like this from, no doubt, some libtarded NGO or charity or Quango or whatever it is that they use our money for, the money that is stolen from us through taxation. They then use it to propagandise us and brainwash us into thinking that our invasion is a good thing. Diversity is our strength. These people literally admit to it, you know, and when it's framed as a good thing, oh, England is becoming Jamaica. I mean, if you read that fucking sign, honestly, it'll make you hurl. Then people have no issue with it being colonised. But the minute someone like Sir Jim comes out and says it, people kick off, as I'm about to go into now. Fucking libtards! It actually really affected me. So don't forget, I'm 6 hours ahead of you guys. So at 7 AM my time, I recorded a video, a very positive video, saying this is a real breakthrough. This is a very brave man. A man who is putting the truth and the future of his country before profits and his reputation. You know, the owner of Man United. And we've seen, you know, this is what got me down. Like Adidas coming out and saying, unless he apologises, we're going to sever ties. But when I made that video, we just had Keir Starmer say that he was offensive and shameful and disgusting. We had Ed Davey, prancy fucking horse boy.
It's killing me.
Saying similar things, but you know, we expect that from the fucking retarded puppets, potentially even reptilians. I don't think they are, I think they're just useful idiots, but you know, whatever. We expect it from them. And then Duncan Bannatyne came out and supported him. John Joe Shelby shared something along similar lines, although he wimped out and said, oh, I can't say any more, I'll get into trouble. But, you know, starting to see this shift of, you know, people no longer being scared to be called racist. And finally just starting to say what we see. Because let's not forget what racism really is. It's discernment, it's common sense. It's realising that certain people are dangerous to our way, to our children. It's a tribal mindset based on ancestry, based on survival. It's survival instinct that humanity has had all through its time, which is why we've always lived in homogenous societies until the last 20 years. Whenever we've seen multiculturalism, Yugoslavia, Burma, it never fucking works. And there's never ever been a time documented in history where Muslims moving into a country that isn't Muslim doesn't end in disaster. I mean, probably even Muslim countries. Like I think Muslims moving into any country always ends up in disaster. But definitely 100% factual to say that whenever Muslims have moved into and become the majority in a Western culture, it's just an absolute disaster and massacre, obviously. Because they're absolutely one way or the highway. You know, they all believe in what their prophet told them, in what their book tells them, that there's 72 virgins waiting for them, but anyone that doesn't follow, it should be either enslaved or destroyed. You know, this is what their religion is, and this is what they all believe, and they're completely united on it. So when a divided Western culture where some people believe that, you know, men have vaginas, and then other people believe that we should close the borders, and we're all completely divided, it's very easy when they come in with their unified, fucking indoctrinated, retarded way. It's very easy for them to take over a divided nation, which is what we always see, basically. So it's a real relief to see, you know, people in positions of authority and just people with a bit of a platform finally starting to say the obvious, to say that, you know, this cannot continue. We are down to 10% of the global population as a white people. I mean, these guys aren't going anywhere near as far as this. Literally, Jim Ratcliffe just said we're being colonised. And John Joe Shelby has literally just said, I'm leaving because it doesn't feel safe anymore. You know, very, very, very tame stuff. And then the reaction, this is what got me, like, the reaction, I just couldn't believe it. Like, is it Goldbridge, the Man United guy, like, with this reaction?
I look at the news this morning, you've got lefties being rolled out, saying it's a disgrace and this, that and the other. You've got righties coming out going, he's absolutely spot on. And I think, get out of my football club. This is not what Manchester United should be for. You should not be using Manchester United to further your political arguments. If you want to do that, resign and go and join Reform. It's a very serious thing that he's done to politicise Manchester United. And an apology, what's the point of an apology? He clearly sat there and meant it. I've listened to the interview. It's premeditated. He goes on about colonisation. He clearly means it. It's incredible. If this was Arsenal's owner or an owner of another football club, I would go, wow, what the hell are you doing? Comparing Manchester United and immigration. Like, what are you doing as a Manchester United owner sitting and doing stuff like that? It's incredible.
So I've just brought myself to watch that for the first time. I'm about to go on about the righteous anger of the left. This clip isn't, the clip I've just shown you of Goldbridge isn't as angry as I thought it was when I saw a few seconds of it. I guess I just lumped him in with all the leftards who are like super angry in their fucking retarded conditioning. But now I've watched it, what makes me fucking sick about that clip is that he is putting Man United ahead of the country. And I see this so much with football fans. I follow Sheffield Wednesday and we're in administration having a terrible season and people are like suicidal over it, it's the end of the world, but they don't mention the fact that what's happening with Sheffield Wednesday is happening with the country, yet they're more upset by what's happening with Sheffield Wednesday. It just blows my mind. And then here's Mark Goldbridge saying that because he's the owner of Man United, he shouldn't, you know, we should just let the country go to demise, we should let all white people die, there'll be no future for my children, speaking as Mark Goldbridge, I assume he has children. But as long as nothing controversial is said by the Manchester United owner, I mean, the priorities of these fucking whiptards is just incredible. You know, it's the righteous anger that these people have when they're completely wrong. And it's all just based on what they've been told for so long. Like, it's so easy for them to make this argument, but it's not going to be for much longer. Like, the tide is turning. And that's how I felt when I recorded that video. Barry Tyne had just come out, Shelby had just come out. I was like, this is very positive, the tide is turning. Went to bed. Oh yeah, the video got 24-hour review from YouTube, so I couldn't earn any money on it. So I didn't post it when it was, you know, that was the context. By the time I was going to bed, I didn't even go, yeah, that was it. By the time I was going to bed, the whole situation had completely changed. Goldstein had come out, or whatever it's called, Goldbridge. And just, I couldn't even go on X. Like, what disheartened me so much is, I guess I would have seen X all about one subject before for 24 hours, but it would have been a subject I was interested in and agreed with. But to see X, which is supposed to be like the conscious right-wing, people who can see what's going on platform, just going into absolute meltdown, and all these words that I'm just so sick of, that I've just had thrown at me for 20 years, like shameful, disgusting, offensive, disrespectful, you know, just these buzzwords. You know, the right uses, the right, you know, I'll use that terminology, but, you know, it uses statistics, facts, you know, examples. The left just has words. The left just has name-calling, racist. And now we're moving on to shameful, disgusting, offensive, because people are starting to realise that racist is just survival. It's just what every other... Oh, this guy explains racism really well, and the indoctrination of the West, so I'll just let him say what I was about to say.
You want to know why I'm racist? My generation of white American men were told that the last 80 years were a problem. People who looked like us, that lived like us, they were the problem. And that we all needed to get past racism together. And that if we could pull it off, if we could get past racism, if we could learn to live in a colorblind society, that things would be better for all of us. And so we were the first generation raised with a truly post-racial mindset. And as we started to reach adulthood, we walked out, put our hand forward to shake the hands of every other race, of every other group, of every other religion, and were immediately sucker punched by reality. Everybody else made it clear that no, they're not striving for a post-racial society. They want to fight over our corpse. They didn't want equality, they wanted our stuff. Right now, to be a white man in America, you have to be out loud, expressly okay with the idea that in 50 years, your entire lineage, your entire bloodline, your entire cultural history won't exist anymore. I'm not gonna apologize for the achievements of my ancestors. I'm not gonna apologize because my people built a better world than yours. We took a land made of stick huts and bison chasers and turned it into the country that put a man on the fucking moon in less than 200 years. We made everything that these people are fleeing their homelands of thousands of years to come and deliver DoorDash to. Fuck you. Fuck everything that you say about us.
The whole thing really knocked me, partly because suddenly I couldn't release that video because it was out of date, so that pissed me off. And the fact that YouTube had put a 24-hour review on it. And they actually decided to demonetize that video, which I just can't understand at all. Like, there was nothing controversial in it whatsoever. So that was just a bit of a disheartening thing anyway. And then when I went on Twitter to find content for the next video the next day, I just couldn't. I had to have 24 hours off Twitter because I just couldn't deal with the retarded indoctrination on my platform. You know, if I was on Instagram or Facebook or Blue Wank or whatever it's called, like, okay, fine, you know, I accept their libtarded platforms, but this is X, you know. And obviously I know that Elon Musk is part of the club, and you know, free speech doesn't really exist, and X is just there to placate us and make us feel like we have a platform that is for us, and to just hoodwink us all into the new Agenda 2030, just like Trump is, just like Farage is, and probably Rupert Lowe is. I'm afraid to say I'm about to do a whole video on that, or I've already done it, but that will be released next. But at least it's a space, even acknowledging all that, at least right now it feels like a space where one can get information from a right-wing perspective, the only space. And to see that get completely taken over by liberals, and just the absolute retardation and hatred in them and vitriol, like just the robotic NPC, but the aggression that comes through with it as well. Like when I was watching, well, I didn't watch Goldfish, but I just saw seconds of it. Like the absolute aggression he speaks with when he's completely wrong, it just makes me fucking sick, man. You don't see that on our side. You see people like me and this, like calmly explaining factually, you know, like think of someone like British Lounger, like very factual. Just very calm, just very logical, and then on their side it's just vile, and they call us hateful. I just hate it. You know, I can cope with it, and this is my role to speak into it, and to show and to reveal how fucking ridiculous and backward it all is. And, you know, I feel like I embrace that and do a pretty decent job of it. And I don't mean on YouTube, and you're the judge of that. I just mean in life. Like, I do a pretty good job of speaking truth in this life and standing up and accepting that, you know, I'll be called names, I'll be disowned, I won't really have any family, I won't really have any friends, but I'll be walking in truth, and that's all that matters to me. But yeah, it felt too much a couple of days ago when X was just taken over. I was just like, I just can't fucking deal with this. So that's why I've not posted a video for a couple of days. But hopefully there'll be 3 again today. Like I say, I've just recorded one about Rupert Lowe. Is he really the saviour, or is he just another puppet? And then maybe I'll do a 3rd one as well. Big love. Thanks for your support. Thanks for clicking the buttons, for commenting. Thanks to these guys massively who support me. But anyone who supports me in any way and supports these videos in any way, I'm massively, massively, massively grateful. Life out here isn't easy. I really miss... I miss some memories of my life in the UK. I don't miss the reality. I saw on British Lounger's video today that you actually had sunshine. I'm fucking delighted for you. But you know, when I think about the reality of what's going on now, particularly the grey skies, I realise that it's not viable. But you know, I don't really enjoy living out here, is what I'm saying. I really miss the UK, but I'm also very grateful to those who support me in any way and do make this possible. I've just rented myself a hut for £10 a night. Thanks to you guys and the support you give me. So, yeah, big love.